Shalom to everybody. Last week we explained how Sinas Chinam can exist with the Second Temple period's Torah, Mitzvos, and Gemilut Chasadim. The Gemilut Chasadim is limited to people who think and act like me, people who are not different than me, people who are a part of my camp. Sinat Chinam is a sinna, is an opposition motivated simply by the other being different than me. A penetrating insight into the problem that existed in the Second Temple period is presented by the Netziv in his introduction to his commentary Hamek Davar on Sefer Breshis. The Netziv, the Rosh Hashiva of Volozhin, in his commentary Hamek Davar in the introduction to Sefer Breshis, explains how this unique combination could coexist. He writes that what was missing in that generation was the proper derech eretz, the proper behavior interpersonally between the groups, and the behavior towards anyone who was outside their camp. So they suspected these people of heresy. It's got to be my way or you must be a heretic. This was the cause of the destruction, says the Netziv, because of the famous words he uses, Ein HaKadosh Baruch Hu sovel tzadikim ka'elu. Even though these were righteous people, they were learning Torah, they were doing mitzvos, they were doing Gemilut Chasadim, but the improper behavior that they had interpersonally, that even though their intentions might have appeared to be l'shem shamayim, this interpersonal behavior that was deficient revealed what was really going on, and it led to destruction. What is our community supposed to look like, given that there are legitimate differences between different halachot and different hashkafot? How do we have a proper machloket l'shem shamayim? So the source of the solution is in the Mishnah in Pirkei Avot, chapter 5, where it says, Kol machloket shehi l'shem shamayim sofa lehitkayem, Kol machloket she'ena l'shem shamayim ein sofa lehitkayem. A machloket which is done properly for the sake of heaven, it will endure. A machloket not l'shem shamayim, done for egocentric or political purposes, that machloket will not endure. If we read carefully in the Mishnah, it's counterintuitive. The machloket l'shem shamayim is the good machloket, and yet it says the machloket will endure. We thought that if it's done l'shem shamayim, we're going to resolve the differences. What's the paradigm machloket of l'shem shamayim, says the Mishnah? Hillel and Shammai. The paradigm machloket shelo l'shem shamayim, Korach va'adato. So it says that the machloket of Hillel and Shammai is going to endure, the machloket of Korach and his group will not endure. What was Korach's machloket? So the Maharal, in explaining this, says the machloket that Korach had wasn't really with Moshe. Korach saw Moshe take the Jewish people out of Egypt. He saw all the miracles. He saw Moshe come down from Sinai with revelation of the Torah. So what was Korach's problem? Korach's problem was that he felt God is not fair. God is not egalitarian. That this isn't a fair way of distribution. His argument was with God. And the Maharal proves this from the pasuk that we read in Parshat Pinchas. Ba'adas Korach b'hatzotav al Hashem. That Korach really was fighting with God. The quintessential machloket shelo l'shem shamayim, what motivates that machloket? Ego. Politics, agendas. That machloket is ein sofa lehitkayem, because if it's ego, it can't last more than 120 years of the person's ego. If it's politics, it probably lasts even less till the next political wave. And therefore, it's ein sofa lehitkayem. It can't continue. What is the paradigm of a machloket l'shem shamayim? Hillel and Shammai. What were they arguing about? They were arguing about how to interpret God's divinely revealed Torah. Says the Maharal, divinely revealed Torah, that's infinite wisdom. No finite human being has the capacity to access the total understanding of that infinite wisdom. The best one can do is to strive to access a dimension of that infinite wisdom and use his intellect, his seichel, his neshama, to understand part of what God's intention is. This, says the Maharal, is machloket l'shem shamayim. Hillel understood egolessly how to interpret part of the Torah. Shammai brought a different perspective to that same Torah because Shammai's neshama and Shammai's seichel was unique. Each one is revealing a dimension limited by human capacity of infinite wisdom. That's machloket l'shem shamayim. No ego, no politics, pursuit of truth and understanding. When it's done l'shem shamayim, it reveals perspectives of infinite, eternal wisdom. As eternal wisdom, says the Maharal, it's sofa lehitkayem, it must endure, because as part of God's eternal wisdom, it can never be batel, it can never be annulled. So this is the opposite relationship described by the Netziv of the Second Temple period. In contrast to my way or the highway, we have an appreciation that I can't possibly have a total understanding of the entire Torah, and that your perspective, an alternate perspective, supplements my perspective. Now, of course, the problem is how this plays out in the real world. Next week we will conclude with insights on how this can and should work in the real world, how our Torah and our Judaism can be enhanced by a proper attitude towards the differences and diversity that exists in the Jewish people while maintaining the unity of the Jewish people that is so imperative.